Hey, this is Mark, and you're welcome to AUTOSAYS. The funny thing about the car world is that the models we think are predictable sometimes hide the biggest financial secrets. And the moment I looked at the 2026 Honda Pilot, I realized something strange. This SUV isn't just another family hauler with a new screen and a fresh face. It's part of a much bigger game automakers have quietly played for decades. A game where small updates disguise massive long-term strategies. And if you pay attention, you can actually see the future of the SUV market before it happens. But before we get into the financial traps, the surprising history patterns, and why this seemingly harmless update might affect what you pay for cars in the next 2 years, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to hear might change how you think about every new car release. Now, imagine walking into the 2025 LA Auto Show, expecting the spotlight to be on the flashy 2027 Telluride, and then you turn your head and see the 2026 Honda Pilot sitting quietly in the corner. It's not screaming for attention, but somehow it feels like it's holding back a story. That's the first clue. Honda knows the psychology of American buyers better than anyone, and history proves it. In the late 90s, when Ford and Chevy were battling for SUV dominance with big engines and aggressive styling, Honda slipped in the first-gen Pilot with one mission: offer something that didn't look like a tank but still carried a whole family. Quiet strategy, silent win. And here we are again. Competitors are dropping full redesigns. Hyundai and Kia are shaking the market with upgraded features, bold shapes, and numbers that look great on spec sheets. And Honda? They show up with a bigger touchscreen, a nicer grille, a quieter cabin, and say, yeah, that's enough for now. At first glance, it feels underwhelming, almost disappointing, but that's exactly where the finance trap starts. Because automakers don't always update cars to impress buyers. Sometimes they update them just enough to justify the next price wave. And the 2026 Pilot is one of those quiet markers. A signal that the baseline for three-row SUVs is rising again. Think of it like inflation, but with chrome. A bigger digital instrument cluster, a 12.3-inch display, subtle steering improvements, these cost Honda pennies, but let them raise the MSRP without scaring anyone. And here's the scary part. This same tactic happened in the mid-2000s when Honda upgraded the Pilot just a little, claiming it was more refined and competitive. Buyers rushed in, prices climbed, and then a few years later, the fully redesigned models arrived with even higher price jumps. You don't notice the financial blow when it's slow. It hits when you're already used to it. Now look at the market today. Competitors are going hybrid, turbo, more torque, more flash. Meanwhile, the Pilot sticks to its 3.5-liter V6 and 10-speed automatic. Solid, reliable, unexciting. Almost too unexciting. But here's the twist. Honda isn't trying to win the horsepower fight, they're trying to win the long-term loyalty fight. Finance departments love predictable engines, reliable engines, engines that don't destroy warranty budgets. And the Pilot's V6 is practically a calculator. Consistent, safe, low repair risk. That saves Honda millions. And guess what? They keep prices stable just long enough to collect those loyalty-driven sales. But don't relax yet, because the suspense gets better. When an automaker saves money on development, that money doesn't disappear. It gets moved to the next big launch. And judging from this mild update, Honda is preparing for something much bigger behind the curtain. Possibly an electrified Pilot or a hybrid powertrain that will hit the market around 2027 or 2028 with a price tag that shocks everyone, but makes perfect financial sense in hindsight. It's the same pattern Toyota used before rolling out hybrid Highlanders. The market panicked, the prices jumped, and buyers felt cornered. Fear is a powerful buying tool, and automakers know it well. Speaking of fear, here's something that may surprise you. Quiet mid-cycle updates like these are often the calm before the storm. When Honda improves cabin quietness, adjusts steering feel, updates the face, adds screens, but avoids touching the engine, they're basically saying, don't worry, yet. It's like the SUV version of that friend who texts you, we need to talk, and then doesn't show up for 3 hours. You know something is coming, And if history repeats itself, which it always does in the car world, the next Pilot generation might not just change, it might flip the entire brand strategy. But let's bring this back to the emotional side of buying a car. Americans don't buy SUVs because they want wheels and seats. They buy them for safety, pride, family moments, memories, comfort, and yes, a little bit of status. The new grille design, the rugged TrailSport touches, the orange outline badging, none of that exists by accident. Honda knows that in a crowded market, emotional decisions dominate financial ones. A driver might say they're buying for reliability, but their heart is saying, I want something that feels adventurous, even if my biggest adventure is Costco. And here's the humorous part. Half of the people who buy TrailSport trims probably haven't trail hiked since 8th grade. But Honda isn't judging, they're selling confidence with a paint color. But don't let the humor fool you. There's a cliffhanger here, because while the updates seem small, the market shift happening underneath them is huge. Turbocharged engines are becoming the norm, hybrids are taking center stage, electric SUVs are sneaking in from every direction, and Honda just quietly placed the Pilot in the middle of all this chaos without explaining why. And that silence, that is the most strategic part. Sometimes staying quiet is the loudest move in business. Investors know it, automakers know it, and buyers feel it without realizing. The Pilot looks unchanged, but it stands at the edge of a historic shift. And maybe just maybe, Honda wants buyers to feel a little uncertain, a little nervous, a little curious, because that's how you keep people watching. It's how you keep them waiting for the next big update, and it's how you slowly increase prices without anyone screaming. So the next time you see a minor update in the automotive world, remember this moment. Remember the 2026 Honda Pilot and how it quietly reminded us that the car market is not just about engines and screens. It's about psychology, history, and financial timing. And the real twist? The biggest changes aren't on the car. They're in the market forces shaping what comes next. Stay with me, because the next generation of SUVs is going to bring some shocking surprises. And this Pilot, this quiet, mild, almost boring update, is the warning sign nobody is paying attention to.